Good evening, my name is Dashini Gobi. Today we will be presenting our assignment 2 for Criminal Law 2. Imagine being in a place where you are supposed to feel safe, yet instead you become a victim of a serious crime. So, we will be presenting the case of Yong Choo Kiong vs. Public Prosecutor 2024 MLJ 779. In this case, involved the offence of rape under Malaysian law, which is governed by Penal Code. Sexual offence considered very serious because they violate a person's dignity, safety, and personal freedom. In order to establish the offence of rape, the prosecutor must prove two essential elements. The first one is actus reus, which is referred to the physical act of the sexual intercourse. Second, mens rea, which is referred to the intention or knowledge that the act was done without any consent. Another key factor in this case is consent. Consent must be given freely or voluntarily and without any form of force or coercion. This case involved an employer who was accused of raping his domestic worker. It highlighted how the court evaluates important factors such as consent, credibility of the victim, and supporting evidence like medical report. Therefore, this case significantly in understanding how sexual offences are proven in court. Okay, I will be continuing the issues in this case. The main issues in this case are whether the prosecutors are successfully proven the offence of the rape beyond reasonable doubt. First, whether the accused committed rape under section 375 of the Penal Code. This requires the court to decide if both physical element, actus reus, and the mental element, mens rea, are proven. Second, whether the sexual intercourse happened without the consent of the victim. This is an important issue because the consent must be free, voluntary, and not obtained through fear, force, or coercion. Third, whether the accused had the required mens rea. In the other way, whether the accused knew that the victim did not consent or was careless about whether the consent is given. Fourth, whether the victim's testimony is believable, consistent, and reliable. Since sexual offense usually happen in private, the court gives strong weight to the victim's evidence. Finally, whether there is enough evidence to back up the victim's version of events. This may include like medical report, injury, and surrounding facts that support the prosecution's case. Therefore, the court must carefully look at all these issues to decide whether the prosecution has proven the case beyond reasonable doubt. Yeah, thank you. That's all from me. Next part, my friend will be continuing. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Christina Maisara. So today I'm going to talk about sexual offences under the Malaysian law and some of the key legal provisions related to it. So first of all, what is a sexual offences? Basically, sexual offences is referred to any unwanted or non-consensual sexual behavior. This can be physical, verbal, or non-verbal, and it's usually involving in action. So that which is can violate someone's dignity or privacy. So in Malaysia, these offences are taken very seriously, and most important thing that the law look at it is consent. If there is no consent, then it can be considered as a crime. So as for the legal provision, in the case of the Yong Choo Kiong versus Public Prosecutor, the law mainly come from the Penal Code because it's involved a serious offences which is rape. So under the section 375, rape is defined as a sexual intercourse without the victim consent. So here, the key things that we are highlighted is no consent means it's an offense. So under the section 300, under the section 376, it's talk about the punishment for rape, which includes imprisonment and whipping. So this show how the serious the law treat this kind of offense. So usually the section 375 and 376 are often read together. So there are also some other related section. For example, the section 354, which is about the outrages of modesty. So this usually involve in physical act like using force in a sexual way. And there's also section 509, which cover insulting modesty. This include word, gesture, or action that are meant to insult someone in a sexual manner. So as for the procedure part, that under the Criminal Procedure Code specifically mentioned that under the section 265A that the court can allow a victim or witness to give an evidence in a protected way. So this is really important because it's help protect the victim's safety and privacy, which still making sure that the trial is fair. So overall, the main thing that in this case is that any sexual act without a consent is considered as a crime. So sexual harassment can happen in different form, not just physical, but it's also can be a verbal or non-verbal, and if it's in a serious cases, it can develop into more serious offenses, which is rape. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Good day everyone. I will begin with the application of law to the facts in the case of Yong Choo Kiong with public prosecutor that will happen in 2024. First of all, I like to talk about the actus reus, which is the physical act of rape was clearly established. The victim testified that the accused pulled her onto the bed, restrained her, and penetrated her without consent. This direct evidence forms the foundation of the prosecution case. Next, moving to the which is that was important, that is medical evidence. Upon this claim, the doctors found freshly torn hymen and vaginal abrasions, which indicates recent penetrations. Although the defense argued alternative causes, the court considered this evidence together with the victim testimony and making it more convincing. Moving to the next element, that is moving on to the consent. The court found there was a clear absence of consent. The victim was physically restrained and unable to escape, which show that the act was against her will. And a reaction, running away and looking herself in the toilet, further confirmed this. Moving to in the terms of mens rea, the accused intention was proven through this use of force. This demonstrates that he knew the victim did not consent, fulfilling the mental element required under the law. The court also relied on CCTV evidence, which show that the accused was alone with the victim for about 10 to 30 minutes. This established opportunity to strengthening the prosecution's case. Furthermore, the court found the victim to credible witnesses. Even though there was minor inconsistencies, they did not affect the overall reliability of her testimony. The appeal court agreed with this finding. So that's all from me. Now I will pass to my friend to continue the remaining application. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Tiago. Today I will present about application and the conclusion. So the first of all is application. Continuing the application, the court also considered whether there was sufficient corroborative evidence. The medical findings supported the victim claim of penetration even though they were not conclusive on their own. When combined with the victim testimony, they strengthened the overall case. Next, the court addressed the defense argument. The accused claimed that the allegation was fabricated and that he was not alone with the victim. However, the court rejected this as a barrel denial and an afterthought, especially because it was not properly supported during cross-examination. Additionally, the absence of DNA evidence did not create reasonable doubt. The court emphasized that DNA is not necessary to prove rape as long as there is credible testimony supported by surrounding evidence. Therefore, the court concluded that the prosecution had proven the case beyond reasonable doubt. So the last one is the conclusion. In conclusion, in Yong Kiong versus Public Prosecutor 2024 3 MLG 779, all elements of rape were successfully established. The accessories was proven through the victim's testimony and medical evidence. The absence of consent was clearly shown by the use of force. The mens rea was established through the accused's intentional action. The court also highlighted the importance of victim credibility and collaborative evidence. As a result, the conviction was upheld as the prosecution proven the case beyond reasonable doubt under Section 376 of Penal Code. That's all from me. Thank you.